right. Hey there. Good morning, everybody. Chris Franks with Texas West Capital coming at y'all live here just after 11 a.m. Central Standard Time on another rainy day outside of Houston, Texas. What is today? May 30th, 2025. Almost June, folks. We're about to hit the halfway mark of the year, and guess what? We're higher and higher and higher, and Bitcoin's made a new all-time high. And stock indexes are near a new all-time high. And everybody was trying to tell you that we were going to be done at the end of last year, beginning of this year. And here we are. So we're going to talk about some charts today, guys. We're going to look at some stock indexes like the Qs and S&P. We're going to look at gold and Ethereum and Bitcoin and Solana, the dollar, the DXY. I may even take on a few requests. We'll see. But we'll get in there and talk about it. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the follow, all that fun stuff. I'm trying out this little thing here. You guys might see that, or I think you can see. Let me know if you can see it. The chat scrolling there on the screen. Can y'all see that there in the video area? I don't know. Fibbo's kind of trying to take up the whole area, it looks like. But let me see here. Let me see if you guys, I don't know if that's just for me, if y'all can see that. I think it's for y'all to see. Down there in the bottom, like if I'm looking at the screen here, it's right here where my hand is. Hi. Fibbo's a bot. Y'all are too busy talking to Fibbo and not answering my question. I don't know. We can't go on until y'all answer my question if y'all can see it. Or if it's just me. Fibbo, stop getting everybody else. Stop getting their attention. You said you couldn't show up today. I'm here to take up the slack. It's a bit small. Yeah, I guess so, especially if you're probably looking on your phone, right? I got a nice, 50-inch monitor here, so it still looks even a little bit small to me. Interesting, though. So anyway, we'll try it here. We'll see what goes on with that. You see my Tom Petty poster? Yeah, signed edition up there. Birthday gift from my sister a few years back. But love Tom Petty's music, man. A big fan. Was so sad when he passed away. So, yeah, it's great music, great music. Anyway, how are y'all doing, guys? How are y'all doing? Hopefully you're doing good. Fibbo agrees that Tom Petty rocks. I like that. Yeah. See, Fibbo and I were about the same age. So what I'm saying when I say Fibbo and I are about the same age, I'm trying to tell y'all we know what good music is. So there. Unless he says something I don't like, in which case I know what good music is. But anyway, Fibbo had something come up today, so he wasn't able to actually jump on live with us. So he's going to try to make it for next week. So, again, as always, guys, we try to get him on every other week, but, that is always a product of stuff he's got going on in his life, going on there. So things happen. Life comes up, right? Y'all can hold off one more week for him. Besides, as Fibbo said, nothing really different is happening this week, and he's about right on that. I wanted to start out this week. I still get it every week or so. I'll get a comment from somebody that proves exactly the point I'm making when I talk. I usually sit here and talk to y'all for a bit about trading and about life and about things that you have to focus on if you want to be successful in endeavors. And again, guys, I know this show's about trading, but absolutely everything I talk about when it comes to trading is directly applicable to life. If you wonder why you're not having the success you want in other areas of your life, it's because you're not doing these things that I talk about in trading. Because it's always about you as a human being. Okay? The things that hold you back or make you successful as a trader are those things that are going on in your head. They're your emotions. They're your psychology. It's not learning to trade the specific systems. Okay, now certain systems work better than others. Risk management, you have to understand risk management. These things are true, but you can understand all that and do all that and still lose money consistently as a trader because your mindset is not where it needs to be. And that's the long, short, and bad and good and everything of it all. But it's the one thing that most new traders come in and they don't want to hear. It's the one thing that I get the most flack about when I talk online. You know, when I do these shows, when I do other shows, where I talk, it's the one thing that, stop talking about that, show more charts. Well, that's exactly the person that I'm talking about. That's exactly the person that will never become successful as a trader, because they're not focusing on the things that matter the most. And I'm going to sit up here and I'm going to keep talking about it, because either you're going to keep coming back and because you want to learn, or you're going to keep coming back. Hopefully I do something different and eventually it'll still, get stuck in your mind, or you won't come back. And if you don't come back, that's all right. Good luck to you. Honestly. My goal here is to help you be a better trader. Probably more so than probably more so than anybody else out there. My legit goal for doing this show every Friday is to help you be a better trader. Not to blow smoke up your rear end, not to feed you what you think you want to hear, not all the nonsense and the rubbish and the gibberish and the crap that's out there. Look at that wing guy, right? Y'all have heard about this guy, right? What was his name? What does he go by? It's W-Y-N-N. James Wynn. Goes by James Wynn Real, right? The guy that was up there and blew $100 million. $100 million, guys. And there are people defending him. Oh, you just don't have the balls to do it. To tell everybody else, right? That is the dumbest thing ever said. It's not about having the balls to do it. It's about, do you really want to be successful or not? Are you just a degenerate gambler? And if you're a degenerate gambler, admit it and be fine. But I swear to God, if you want to be a trader, don't be following people like that. Why would you be giving them time of day? Because it gets your dopamine going. Most of the people that say they want to be traders, that they say they are traders, right, are just dopamine addicts that are in the market. That's all they are. They're not really traders. They're dopamine addicts in the market. They're basically gamblers. You don't want to be that. I'm telling you right now, if you want to have the greatest chance of success in trading, you absolutely have to get off the dopamine side of it. And so that brings up another thing. I've posted some quotes, on and off again from some really amazing traders throughout the years, right? And these are people that have made hundreds of millions and billions of dollars trading, right? These guys, legit credentials. And I have one that I posted up there where he says, basically, listen, if money is your sole goal as a trader, you're not going to make it. There's got to be more to it than simply making the money. And then I'll get some Yahoo will come back because they don't understand. And they'll be like, oh, that's so stupid. You can't eat, doing it for the trade or whatever. You have to have money, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, no, you're missing the point. What he's trying to say is, once you really start getting into trading, it becomes a game of, can I do it? Can I continue to excel? Money becomes the byproduct of the game. Whereas most retail traders, when they first come in, because I was the same way, right, is we're looking at money. How much money can we get? Okay? And it's not about, if you go into whatever you're doing, whether it's trading, whether it's starting a business, whatever you're doing, if you go into that with the mindset that all you're trying to do is gain all this money, the odds are significantly stacked against you. I mean, significantly. It's almost guaranteed that you won't be successful. There has to be some other reason, a real reason why you're doing it. And in money, guys, listen, it's never about money. Even when we first come into traders, we say, oh, I'm doing it because I want to make money. Well, it's not because you want to make money. It's because of what that money can do for you. There is a further end goal, a greater good for you. That's what you're chasing. Money is just the means to get it. So even when you're in trading, you're not in trading to make money for the sake of making money. right? You're not in it just to have a dollar to walk around with the dollar. What is the dollar? The dollar doesn't do a damn thing if it's sitting in your wallet. You're making money to buy more Bitcoin. You're making money to pay your mortgage. You're making money to buy the food for the family. You're making money to buy the trip to take the family on a trip, right? You're doing all these things. Money is just the means to get you there, to get you to the goal you're trying to get to. So you are not trading for money, folks. You're trading for what that money means. What can it do for you? How does it help you reach the goals and the things that you have planned? Does this make sense? Because if you don't, it's so, it's crazy the way the human mind works. If you don't understand what I just said right there, it's going to make it really difficult to make those dollars. And when you make those dollars, it'll often be like this, right? And it'll be, and you'll think it's because you're some great trader or some great business person, whatever. It's really just going to be luck. The problem with making money on luck is you're going to lose it. Look at the historical, look at what happens here in the U.S. I don't know how it is throughout the world, but here in the U.S., right? Here in the U.S., we have lotteries, right? Lottos, we do, right? And people win all the time, right? $1 million, $5 million, $10 million, $100 million, $500 million, right? But the studies that they do showing these people is almost every single last one of them is at least where they were, if not worse off, within 3 to 5 years. It's absolutely insane. Because luck is nothing that you base your life on, right? Does that make sense? Roy says, that's why I trade. Time with my kids. Yeah. There's got to be a greater why in there, guys. More than just the money. And there always is. You may not have sat around long enough to really consider what I'm saying, to consider it to that extent. But there's always a greater why in there. And that's what you need to focus on. Because if you focus on that, it does a lot to keep you from being a gambler. It does a lot to help you focus on proper risk management. It does a lot to help you concentrate on this idea that trading is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You're not trying to get rich overnight. If you're trying to get rich overnight, you've lost already. You've already lost. You will lose your money. There are no two ways about it. And let's say every once in a while you get lucky, you're going to lose that money too. I mean, all we have to do is look again at this wing guy, right? He was supposedly up 88 million. 88 million, and then lost all. And then he plays it off. And then he plays it off and says, oh, yeah, I was just on the balls, blah, blah, blah. No, that's cope. That's cope. That I'm going to tell you 100% that's cope, guys. There is nobody in their right mind that they don't have $88 million and they make $88 million and then they lose it. And they say, oh, you just didn't have the balls to do it, or I'd rather be one day known than, never known, or what. It's all cope. That's what it is. Because think of how much that's going to affect your psyche. Think about it. If you could have closed out $88 million in your account, what would that have done for your life? Every single last one of you, it would have changed not just your life, but your kids' lives, probably your grandkids' lives. $88 million, right? Don't play the tough, don't buy the tough guy routine he's pushing there. It's nonsense. But see, the problem is you guys get all excited with it. It hits your it gets your dopamine going, whether he wins or whether he loses. You're just a secondary dopamine addict. That's all you are. And the sad thing is that is going to funnel itself into your trading. If you're trying to trade and you're following content like that, the odds are most likely that it's going to affect you very negatively. It's going to be very difficult for you to become consistently successful. None of us that have been doing this for any length of time and have been successful would ever, ever, ever say that guy was a great trader. And they would go, oh, but what if he made it? What if he did it? We say, well, he would have been lucky. He's not a great trader. Great traders don't leverage 40x long. Great traders don't revenge trade constantly. See what I'm saying? So, you know, the way you approach trading, the way you approach your life, the way you approach the world, it's all the same thing. You can't approach one way and approach the other things a different way. Your brain does not allow that. You will default to the one way you are most used to doing, which means if, as I often talk about, you know, you're usually, you know, everything's everybody else's fault. You're kind of a victim mentality, right? If that's the way you are currently, it's going to take a little bit of work to get out of that. And you can definitely get out of that. But you have to get out of it. You have to, because you can't create success if you don't have the ability to take responsibility. Success demands responsibility. And not just sometimes, all the time. Not just success in trading, but success in business, success in, you know, romantic relationships, success in life, all these things. Does that make sense? You guys got to get this figured out. I'm telling you now. If you don't get it figured out, you're going to have you're going to, if you've been in the markets for a few years and you're not getting to that point where you can, you know, stop what you're doing as a day job, get out there, and you're wondering why, it's because you're not doing these things. You're not taking it seriously. And I know after talking here for a few minutes, I know I'm going to have some Yahoo come up with the comments, oh, you're so rude and disrespectful. And you know what? Just keep it. If you're going to say it, just go ahead and move on, because you're just proving my point. Nothing I say here is meant to be disrespectful. Nothing's meant to be rude. It's meant to be a wake-up call. As I tell y'all, I've been through all this myself. So I know I'm speaking from a point of being there. I've spoken to thousands, tens of thousands of traders over the last 30 years. Everybody from brand new, wet behind the ears retail traders to professional traders, institutional traders. It's always the same thing. It's not difficult to be successful. It's not hard to be successful as a trader. Okay? Trading is simple. It's not easy though. And the easy part is you. The part that makes it difficult is you. Because you don't want to do the things that you have to do to be successful. You don't want to, you know, take on proper risk management and to do it every single time. Because in your mind, you're still thinking, I want to get rich on this next trade. That's why the shit coins always blow up like that, guys. All y'all jumping in there thinking you're going to be the one to make a ton of money. It doesn't happen. Most of the time you end up losing it. And that's if it isn't rug pulled to begin with. Okay? Bernardo says, I'd like to believe that guy had a hedge in another platform. Even if he did, he's still not a good trader. That's not good trading what he did. That's the thing, right? People go over talking about what a great trader he is and he's so skillful and he's so ballsy. No, he's dumb. He's dumb. Any fool that was up 88 million like that and coming from much less than 88 million and they didn't take that profit and they ran it all back down into the ground, I mean, that's just dumb, guys. And if you can't understand that, there's absolutely nothing I can do here to make you believe it. But I'm telling you right now, nothing of what he did was great trading, good trading, anything like that. Which is why he lost it all, which is why he didn't lock in any of that profit. Okay? Anyway, let's go and jump in some charts here, guys. Let's go look at, yeah, there we go. We got some Bitcoin up here, some Bitcoin. Let me see here again. I mean, it's just such a beautiful chart here, guys. I mean, this is all so absolutely beautiful. If you don't think this is beautiful, I don't know what to tell you. We can just kind of pull this over here, right? This is such just this amazing looking chart. We got volume expansion up through here as we continued up toward the top there. We had some volume coming in up here to the top, and so it gives us a little bit of a pullback. But I mean, ultimately, I mean, at this point right now, really, let me get this off here. Here's where we are. Now, what's significant about this area? Support, resistance, 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 support, potentially support right here. We're just in this upper band area here of this range, of this previous range here. And we're coming to the top, and right now we're kind of finding a support. Again, we've got a high volume node over here, so the market starts becoming more interested, more liquidity there. But it's absolutely just fantastic where we're at. And so here's the thing. If you're kind of, looking at this, right? So we have this nice big move here, and we got a lot of nice movement here. We've pulled back a little bit here, right? Now, these are the weekly pivots here, or I'm sorry, the monthly pivots, and these will be gone. Let me think. Tomorrow's the 31st, right? So end of the trading day tomorrow, UTC time, these will be changed. So this pivot will move itself up here, and so if we have some further pullback, it might come toward that, right? But here's what I'm looking at. Right now, we're just at this point getting a throw under of this descending channel support, right? If we measure this out, we're just between the 100 and the 123.6, which in that area, when wave C is 100 to 123.6% of wave A, that's usually the target area. So we're getting that target area right as it kind of breaches this descending support. So we want to see if we can get a rally up off there, because if we can, things start looking really good, right? This is 3 waves down. If we're breaking out on this particular chart here, this is the Bitcoin USD, so it's the index here, the Bitcoin all-time history index, right? So whatever chart you're looking at, that move right there, that in this chart's 110, 765, and 26 cents. If we can turn and break out above that, guess what? We're heading up higher. And you can just do a quick, easy target from where we are right here. Be about, you look at that 1618 of the retracement here, not the extension, retracement tool. That's about 116,720 would be my initial target. Right? Now, if this comes and breaks down below this swing low here from Monday, May 19th, at 102, on this chart, it's 102,085.25. If we break down through there, then there's a good chance we might see this jumping on down here toward 96,000. Not a guarantee, but there's a good chance we'll probably see that. Again, we have this large daily fair value gap here, which was mitigated right here, but you can still see it falling right through that, toward that, 96,000 area down here. So, as I look at this, that's kind of what I'm looking at here. Do we turn this around and break back out and head up, or maybe here we pull back down around that 96 and then we go up? It's not really a difficult kind of way to look at it. Makes it easy. You don't have to worry about really local stuff when you're looking at it. Let me see here. If we zoom in a little bit, we do have the weekly S1 pivot here at about 103,400. I mean, I would look at that obviously, but the fact that we're getting toward the end of these the weekly pivots here, because they'll be on Sunday, they'll change, and the fact that we're kind of like rolling around the pivot here doesn't give me a lot of hope for a support here, but we'd watch it anyway. So if we're continuing to break down, we'd look around that 134 and say, okay, can we get that and break back out? If we do, great. But it does get us pretty close to that swing low there again. And if we're breaking down through that 102,000 area, odds are there's a good chance we can continue down to 96,000 down here. See, this is big, low volume node here. Basically, you want this area to hold here at the top of that low volume node. You do that, life's good. You don't, we'll probably jump through it, and life will be better down here at 96 because now you got to buy at 96. The problem is most people won't buy at 96. Does that make sense? Most people won't buy there. People all the time, you're like, oh, well, if it pulls back here, I'm going to go long. They don't go long. And it's not because there's something wrong with them. That's just human nature in general. Again, guys, 31 years, going on 31 years this year, I've been doing this. Talked to all sorts of people, all walks of life, as far as trading goes. And human nature just says that way. If it's easy to feel confident when price is up and you're like, oh, I just pull it back, do it. But when you're in the middle of the emotion, your trading becomes extremely difficult. Right? Michael says you shouldn't try to catch a falling knife anyway. That's right. Don't catch a falling knife. But the point I'm trying to get to is you should have a plan ahead of time. And if you guys notice, I talk about this in every phase, every facet of trading. You should have a plan. But it's not just trading, it's in life. You should always have a plan in life for anything. Okay? What's going on, Army? I see you there, man. He says he's watching from a plane heading home from the Bitcoin conference. Man, tried to make it, couldn't make it. But there's always next year, maybe, right? But the goal is, in trading and in life, is always to have the plan. And to have the plan figured out ahead of time, guys. You do not want to be in a position where you're emotional and you have to make decisions. You absolutely do not. Why do you think, the military, why do you think they constantly practice over and over and over again, especially if you're something like infantry or you're special force or something? I mean, you're constantly practicing. Because when the shit hits the fan and your emotions are high, you have to have a response that's already figured out. Because if you have to think about it, you'll probably freeze up. Or you'll probably do something stupid. But it's the same thing in every other facet of life, including trading. You have to have a plan before something happens. Otherwise, you are that person online freaking out about price dropping or freaking out about price rallying because you weren't prepared for it. Not really. And when it hit it, your emotions came in, and now you don't know what to do. And now you're scared that you're going to miss an opportunity or you're going to lose a lot of money. You probably weren't using proper risk management. You definitely didn't have a plan. Right? And the sooner you can recognize that and then do something about it, the better off you're going to be. The more chance you have to be a successful trader, the more chance you have to be successful in life. So like Michael said, shouldn't try to catch a falling knife. Yeah, exactly. You know me, I don't just put blank bids in there and just hope it hits and go with it, right? I look for reactions in areas, right? I note areas, higher time frame areas of importance to me, areas where price should do something, right? And when it hits it, I'm looking for a reaction. And the goal is to jump in on a smaller time frame and enter from there based on the reaction, what kind of reaction you're getting off there. But what do most traders do? What do most traders do? They just kind of throw orders in there and hope it hits. or it gets down there and they just jump in, right? On that large time frame, whatever it is. They don't know, they're not looking at a specific point of interest. They're not zooming in a smaller time frame and watching the price action kind of react in that area to see if it's doing what it needs to do to give you a potential reversal. And what happens with most retail traders? They lose money, right? I keep telling you guys, if you want to be different, if you want to make money as a trader, you got to do the thing that the others are not doing. It really is that simple. It's just not easy, right? It's just not easy. So as far as Bitcoin goes, again, we'll look here 103,404. If we're breaking 102, then there's a good chance we could see it jump to 96. Doesn't have to, but there's a good chance. But if we can hold this 100, really, if we can just hold this 100 area here, top of this low volume node, pop back up, we can be good to go up higher. What I like is on the daily, stochastic RSI is already reset. RSI is still bullish above neutral at this point. But even getting down toward this 100,000 area, there's a good chance this RSI could reset pretty close to all the way, if not all the way there. And so what are we looking at? Well, if price is coming down here a bit, right, gets down in here, 96 or whatever, the likelihood is that we may be seeing, these higher lows. We'll definitely be seeing higher lows there. But we might be seeing lower lows here. Give us hidden bullish divergence before we print out and run up higher. Do I think this is the top? Again, I say no. I don't think it's anywhere near, where we're done yet. So, take for that what it's worth. I think we've got through the end of the year, possibly into the beginning of next year, but at least through the end of the year, Q4, before we, hit our final all-time high. Yeah, man. Just above Houston on Lake Conroe. Yeah. Getting all the stupid rain lately. No, I know you said Army, you said you were headed over to Dallas, moving from El Paso. Man, moving to Dallas. I don't know if I'd want to live in Dallas. Maybe Fort Worth. I like Fort Worth. Let me see here. So anyway, again, we're where we are here, guys. We're nowhere in any kind of danger. Oh my God, but Chris, we just made a new high at 112,000 and now it's all the way down here at 104,000. And your point is, why are you being emotional about it? I was unemotional this entire way down. We were looking at a potential rally in this area here. We got that. Nothing on the macro here happened that said that this was the top. So certainly nothing's happened here that says this is the top. Right? If we're zooming out the macro level here, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, we would, as far as this cycle goes, guys, you would start to get concerned that the top may be in if it drops below 74, 441.20 on this chart. Oh my God, Chris, it's such a far way down. But we're talking about the macro chart, right? We're not talking about your 15-second chart. It's a long way up from 16,000, 15 and a half to 74, right? We're not going down here, though. I don't believe so at all. We pull back here, and then I think we're out, popping up higher. Again, I think we've got Q4 this year before before we're potentially done. Same thing I've been saying for a while now. So let me see here. Army, you said what? You sold everything around 102.7 before the big drop and bought a ton at 77, not thinking I should take some more profits again? Not or now thinking? I'm not sure what you mean there. For which one? But yeah, but here's the other thing. Here's the other big thing about this, guys. Y'all are out here following narratives, right? What were our two big narratives? August 5th, oh my God, the yen carry trade is imploding. Everything's going down. That's it. We're crashing real down, right? I said, no. I said, no, we weren't. You guys, if you're around, you saw that. What happened? Monday morning, took back up. The rally's into a new all-time high, right? What happened here? April 7th. They dropped down right away. Oh my God, it's the end. It's the top. I told you we were right. We were right. We were right. Ah, bears, bears, bears. What happened? Move right back up there, right? How long did this take? This took around 44 days or so to make a new all-time high, to rally, just to break out higher there, to rally up there around almost 50%, $35,000. Eventually $37.5 to get that swing high it's at there. But everybody online chasing narratives. But fundamentals, no. The problem most people have with fundamentals, guys, is they try and make the fundamentals match what they think should happen. Because we're human beings. We hold the ideas we have, too strongly. Right? And so when information comes in, instead of taking it as is and looking at it objectively, we put it into the lens of what we think. And if you do that, what's going to happen? You're going to get your butt whooped just about every time. Okay? So you could have listened to them over there and sold everything at the lows, or you could have listened to me and didn't freak out and just noted we got where we said we were likely to get to if we continue lower, and then we went up, right? I'm not saying I'm anything special. I'm just saying I figured out the way that you have to look at it. Not on social media, but are these people calling tops because they want attention or just negative Nancy's? I think most of them really believe it, in seeing them discuss it and whatever, it appears that they really believe. But most people are also really negative generally. But here's the funny thing about it, guys. You're going to make more money in life being positive. It doesn't mean bad things aren't going to happen and negative things aren't going to happen. But if you can focus on positivity and you can focus on having a positive attitude, those negative things will never be as bad as they could be. And again, this comes back to what I was talking about earlier. It's all about mindset. Whether you're trading, whether you're in business, whether you're in a relationship, it's all about your freaking mindset. Okay? What is your mindset doing for you? What is your mindset doing for you? But you also have to be honest with yourself. Are you trading the macro cycle? Are you trading this whole kind of cycle? Or are you day trading? Those are going to be different results of what you should do at different areas. Right? Like when I come out here, almost exclusively, I talk about the macro. Right? And I do that for a reason, right? We talk about smaller time frames or whatever, usually within TWC. But when I'm out in the public, my focus is always on macro. Now, if there's some really great setup locally, I might talk about that. But ultimately, my thoughts are always on the macro cycle. Because the easiest way to make Bitcoin, to make money in Bitcoin, is to buy near the cycle lows and just hold through the cycle highs. And just add on along the way. Go out there, get a second job, mow some lawns. I say this and people are like, oh, what do you mean go get a second job? Listen, guys, I've been a workaholic my entire life. I'm used to working 10, 12, 14 hours a day, day after day after day after day after day. Even though I don't have to, right? I'm not saying it's necessarily a good thing, but what I'm saying is, so when I say, get a second job or mow some lawns on the weekend or something, to me, for me, it comes down to where do I want to get to? If I'm in this position and I want to increase my Bitcoin, right? How do I do that? Well, the absolute easiest way for me to do that is to go make extra dollars and Trade them for Bitcoin. If you're trying to trade Bitcoin and you haven't figured out how to trade to begin with, or how to deal with your emotions, how to use proper risk management, all these things, you're going to lose your money. Nobody wants to do that. But even if you're a trader, I say this all the time, you should have a separate bag of Bitcoin that you just continually put money into every time you can, whether it's $5, $50, $500, whatever at a time. You just keep putting it in there and you don't ever touch it. You don't trade it. Because there are no guarantees in the markets and in trading. There are no guarantees. And the last thing you want to do, especially if you're a newer trader now and you don't have decades of experience wherever going in there, is to go and try and trade that bag and lose it all. And then 5 years from now, you're like, damn, if I had just kept that and not traded it all these last 5 years, I'd have 15 or 20 times what I had. Right? Mike Lamb, what's going on, Mike? He says, yeah, because fiat is worthless. I try to trade for something of worth as quickly as I can. That's the goal. Every day, fiat becomes debased further and further. But we need fiat to pay for those other things. Because I'm going to tell you what right now, don't use Bitcoin to pay for something else. Use dirty old fiat. Use the thing that's declining in value to pay for the things that are just, like food and rent and stuff like that. The things that are increasing in value, you want to keep as much of that as possible so that it can continue to increase in value. It's not that Bitcoin is something special. Now, there's a lot of people come in here and they think, oh, well, Bitcoin, Bitcoin this, Bitcoin that. Listen, guys, the only reason Bitcoin is a great thing is because the powers that be continue to debase the currency. They continue to print more fiat. If they weren't printing more fiat, I'm going to tell you guys right now, Bitcoin really wouldn't be worth a whole lot. There wouldn't be a reason for it, a need for it, right? So everybody's like, oh, look, we're in Bitcoin because Bitcoin's going up. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. But the reality of it is the only reason it's going up, for all intents and purposes, is because more fiat's being printed all the time. Okay? So think about that. Let me see here. So let's go ahead and jump in a few charts here real quick. Here's the DXY. Speaking of the dollar, right? Here's the DXY. Again, this is the big picture here. Y'all know I called this low down here and almost immediately gave this 114 to 115 target up here, which we hit. From here, I said $100 or 100 points and then potentially down to 90 and maybe even lower, depending on how it plays out. We got down here. This took a bit more consolidation than I expected. But as we were getting through it, I told you guys it looks like a flat correction. Looked to get rejected up here, 108 to 110. That's where we got rejected. Here we are breaking back down again. So, it just, again, it's not that I'm anything special, but it's just because, when you learn to use the tools properly, you are more likely to be correct. And I didn't say you're guaranteed to be correct, guys. We're still human beings. We still have our own emotion and our own, psychological whatevers that flow into our analysis. We can still be wrong, and you should expect to be wrong. Why should you expect to be wrong anytime you trade? Because that means if you do and you're really trading, you're going to focus strongly on your risk management. You have two things that you have to do as a trader, guys. Two things. One, use proper risk management every single time you trade. The only other thing you need to do to be a successful trader is to consistently lock in profits. Notice I didn't say you had to get every dollar, every penny out of the run. Notice I didn't say you had to get every trade right, or that every trade had to hit your target. I said you need to consistently lock in profits. That's all it takes. If you can use proper risk management every single time you take a trade, and you can consistently lock in profits, the odds that you are not going to be successful are extremely low. Because once you do those two things, all you have to do is figure out how do you want to trade it. But again, within all of that, you have everything that's going on up here that's screwing you up, that's causing you to lose money. And that's the issue time and time again. Right? So anyway, overall, looking at this continuing down here, at least into the low 90s. We'll reevaluate right now. That could just be the A, the B, and the C and be done and head up. Or it could be, one of C. We'll get a 1, we'll get a 2, 3, 4, 5, and finish in the mid to upper 70s. We'll see what happens. But for right now, overall, still looking for this to get down here, around this kind of low 90s area down here. Right here, we had a nice, almost a perfect 38.2 pullback for our wave 4. You got an ABC. Oh, I'm sorry, an ABC and then an ABC. So it's like a WXY double zigzag. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down here. So 1 and wave 2 may be complete here. Let me get this off here. If that's 1 and 2 is complete there, 5 waves down around 94.17, which gets us just below the pattern target at 95.225. So we're out there, right? Again, remember those 2 dates I talked about? August 24th or August 5th of 24 and April 7th of this year. End of the world moments. Huge move up. Huge move up. We're almost up here. I expect that we're going to break out. I expect we're going to go to new all-time highs. I don't expect we'll hit the top until, again, later this year. Anybody that's been following me for at least, since 2021, I guess, for about 4 years, knows that I've been looking at 50,000 for the Dow as the likely, at least that area before we get a real recession, at least pulling in. So now we're, bouncing around that whole 42,000 area. We've been doing that for a bit. We've been up to around 45,000 or so far. Yeah. So I think, again, I think we get new all-time highs for the S&P. We get new all-time highs for the Dow. We get new all-time highs for the NASDAQ. We get new all-time highs for the Qs. Look at the Qs again. August 5th, April 7th. And look at that April 7th pullback on the Qs. It was this November 22nd, week of November 22nd, 2021's all-time high. That's where you pull back to. You retested. Look at that huge candle. You pull back a little bit, another big candle. Now, smaller candles, it's going up here, as you would expect as you get into this supply. But there's no reason, I believe, that we shouldn't be breaking out higher. This looks pretty clearly like a spring. So you get your buying climax into your selling, your automatic reaction, your selling climax here, into your little bump up and your second bump up, down into your spring. That spring's volume, let me see here, right here, was much greater than the selling climax volume here. So you're looking for now a pullback, a higher low on lesser volume. That's a test of the spring. That's right there. Volume way down there. Successful test. If you weren't going long here, what were you doing? You should have been going long here on this rally up. 100 points basically on the Qs. But yeah, we're going to be looking for, now we'll probably get, most likely we'll get, a bit of a pullback before we break out, but we'll break out, I believe. We're going to get some movement up. Again, the idea that we don't, finish until Q4 this year. Okay. You always have people, you got to wonder, how bad are you if your way of marketing is to go into other people's audiences and shill your stuff, I mean, you have to be a really poor person at what you're doing. You have to be really bad at what you're doing if that's the only way you can get people to follow you. Man, how embarrassing. Anyway, if you're willing to follow people like that, feel free to go ahead. You're going to learn the hard way probably, but it's like those same spam bots that are all over X, right? Bots are us, exactly, Mark. But yeah, it's like all that crap that's on there in social media, especially X. Where you get people on there and they just continue to. They use the same services. You can tell because they write the exact same, the exact same things are written. But it really gets me when people sometimes follow them, and I'm like, people. I'm telling you guys, people out there are going to tell you what they want you, what you think you want to hear, in order for you to give them money. Stop doing that. I prove time and time enough out here. I don't tell you what you want to hear usually. And we'd love to have you join us, TWC, right? But, again, you're going to do whatever you're going to do. Our monthly is going to go up to $179. We've been well underpriced for a very long time at $97. None of our competitors are anywhere near that price. And so we're gonna be raising that to $179 a month coming up here. If you're in at $79, don't worry. As long as you're continuing to auto renew on that, the platform will still give you that same price. I do have something I did. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say it here. Yesterday, I haven't. God, can somebody get rid of this idiot? Let me see here. Ban user, delete their comments. There we go. I took care of that. People just keep on, right? But anyway, I haven't done a discount in a really long time. And so if you use summer 2025, SUMMER 2025 on the annual, you'll get a significant discount on that. But it's only open to the first 20 people that jump on that. And I know we've already had some people jumping on that. So, if you miss it, you miss it. It is what it is. But if you want to jump in there for a year, you get our live trading room 3 times a week right now. I'm going to try and up that to 5 times a week, but at least 3 times a week right now. You get three group coaching sessions every week. You get market wrap every night that usually has 15 to 20 charts in it, stocks and crypto. Plus we talk about stock indexes and sometimes some of the futures as well. What else do you get, guys? Jeez, I don't even remember everything we do. We do about 15 charts, I think we update daily. Crypto and futures charts. Bitcoin will update at least 3 times a day. What else do we do? Oh, we got all the courses. I mean, geez, oh whiz. Tons and tons of hours of courses in there for Elliott Wave, price action concepts, Wyckoff method, trader fundamentals, risk management, that stuff as well. Yeah, so God, I can't even think. I know I'm leaving out stuff. There's like so much. Oh, Andrew and Vince, they give you their head traders over. They give you their thoughts and trades that they're in and things they're looking at and analysis that they're finding in the market and news and stuff like that throughout the day as well. Plus, you get Fiboswani. You get him. You get access to learn how to trade his threshold theory and his trades as well. So just a ton of stuff. Bernardo would like you to know that since we have him in the community, that's a very important part of the value. Yeah, so I mean, it's ridiculous how much you guys really get out there. So yeah. Anyway, and we got people from all over the world. We got people from the other side of the planet. So if you're like, oh, well, I live over in Australia and, that's the timing is not the same. Well, no, it's not. But we got multiple people from Australia, actually, that are in there. if you're from Czechoslovakia or the UK or the Netherlands, I can't even say it. If you're from Canada, which is, the next US state, right? It's Snow Mexico, right? If you're from Mexico, we got somebody, at least one or two people, I think, from Mexico. Got people from South America. So yeah, we got it from all over the world. It's a lot of fun. But people from Belgium who talks a lot. Mr. Awesome, are you who I think you are? I think I know who that is now after that comment. But anyway, let's jump on over here, guys. So again, S&P, Dow, NASDAQ, the Qs, we should all be looking for them to continue higher overall. Bitcoin, we should be, continue to look higher. DXY, I believe, will continue to head lower. Ethereum. I mean, literally, guys, we are in a range here that started back in November of 21. This is just one large range here. Locally, here's another range of which it looks like we've got a spring and a rally back up into here. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Ethereum kind of get a rejection around this, prior to or around the 3,100 area and pull back before it breaks out. But ultimately, you might hate Ethereum, but it should break out higher. We should be seeing new all-time highs for Ethereum as well on that. By the way, based on the height of this pullback here, that gives us a pattern target about 13,791 for Ethereum. So that'll be interesting to watch there, right? Let me see here. Yeah, could it potentially be a triangle here? A, B, C. Well, which one's the higher one here? Let me see. 4,090, 4,093, 4,197. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe. Could be an A, a B, a C. Maybe we'll get a D and an E. I would look for that there. It's possible, but that gives me a whole lot more excitedness about, this pattern target up here, potentially. It's a pretty large triangle. I mean, this is, this would be our 1 and our 2 here, if that's going to be the case. Our 1, our 2, and that would be our 3 with our triangle here is a 4. It's kind of long in time here compared to wave 2. So, we'll watch how it continues to play out, but really it's just consolidating here. You'll notice right here where it pulled back. You just at that support level right there, right? Basically resistance there, right? Support, resistance right here. Support, resistance on these two candles. Support all the way over here. I mean, that's really all that is, and that's where we got with that nice weekly doji candle there. If you guys aren't taking the weekly into your consideration, please do. Whatever chart you're looking at, look at the weekly. Because if you're watching, say, on a daily or a 4-hour candle, you're watching this move down, you're like, eh. But if you see this weekly candle right here on this support, there's little reason why you should. And I'm a very risk-adverse person. Ask anybody in TWC, they'll tell you. But for me, if I'm seeing this kind of doji here on the weekly at this support area, I'm willing to take, stupid things here. I'm willing to take this trade right here. Minimally to the top of this range, which gives you almost a 12R. Top of this range gives you a 15.5R. And heaven forbid, if this thing happens to hit this pattern target up here, becomes a 57.6R. You're making $57 for every dollar you risked. That's insane trade. So yeah, I'm not a hater on Ethereum. Look at the monthly on Ethereum, guys. Look, if you didn't even look at the weekly candle, look at the monthly candle. Look at that there. Look at that doji. And this huge bullish engulfing candle engulfs the last 2 months. Stochastic RSI bottomed out and oversold, crossing bullishly. RSI dipped down below neutral here. Found support where this previous kind of support area is. It's now on the bullish side of neutral, threatening to cross bullishly. Second move, the low here is basically the low here. This 1384.17, this low here was 1370. Same area, right inside this large, largish monthly fair value gap here. But when you look at this, here's another way you need to look at it. You see how this is pretty clearly 3 waves down? And then we've broken out above this second wave. That locks that in as corrective. That means this is the low here. And we should expect that we're going to break out higher because 3 waves is corrective. And when you break out above that second wave, that means that third wave can't subdivide any further. So you're locked in at 3 waves, which is corrective. Does it make sense? Okay, let me get rid of these other idiots now. Oh, man. So anyway, it took a little bit. It took a little bit longer to get the move in the low here and to start moving off that than I thought it would. But again, I never gave up on this idea that we were likely heading to a new all-time high, and it starts right here. And if you don't really understand Elliott wave or how and why that works and human emotions and whatnot, well, you may not understand why I'm so confident about this. But if you do, then you know. Just understand, guys, when you have 3 waves and then price pushes above, or, if it's 3 waves in the other direction and price pushes below, right, the second wave, that means that third wave cannot subdivide. It can't extend any further, which means you're locked in at 3 waves, and 3 waves is corrective. Look for new all-time high. Let me see here. Gold. Look at gold. Look at what gold's doing. I've still got this kind of on this potential, wave 4 here, and then wave 5 of 5. Maybe it's wave 5 of 3, actually. This might be the 3 up here. But for right now, anyway, this looks, again, 1, 2, 3, right? So we just need a breakout above gold swing high up here. At 34.4820 to add confidence to this count and that the low is in, that we're heading up, right? Then you look at a pattern target based on the height here, which gets up around 37.5940. Okay? But nonetheless, this is one of my favorite patterns right here, guys. When you have a descending channel and you have a throw under it of it here, and then you get this quick move back up. This all but guarantees that's the low, and you're going to break out higher. And so this was the same thing I was kind of looking at, hoping still that we may see here on Bitcoin. Right? Get rid of some of this. This is the daily candle. So either today, well, my favorite thing would be to see today, to see this rally back up and close back up around that descending channel support area. But if not, then tomorrow to see this rally back up into the channel tomorrow. And then that'll give us a target of the channel resistance. Impulsive breakout and close above that, indicates that, hey, we're heading up there. But yeah, for this one right here, looking for hopefully the same thing here to happen that we got here to happen. And send it back up here like this. Consolidate a bit and then boom, break out higher. Let me see here. I've got Solana as well. This is my great old Solana chart. Those of you that have been following me since at least the 30th of December 2022 and bought, instead of cursing me out and calling me names at that time, and held, congratulations. You got in around $9, and so far you've been up around almost $300. It's almost, this is something like a 30-something X, right? pull back here. Here we go. Again, the same thing here. Again, to me, this looks like a flat correction. So this looks like, you know, buying climax, automatic reaction. You get this, you know, your big move up here, then you get the move down into the spring here. Let me zoom out a little bit more here to the weekly. So we're just getting rejected here at the yearly pivot. Usually what we expect. Let me see here. So if we can say that's a 1, yep. We look for that pullback. We potentially would look here at 144.5 and then maybe 133.5. If we continue pushing down here, those would be my target areas I'd look at. The idea that maybe this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 here. So we get a 1 and a 2 on that pullback. And what does that mean? That means if we hit the 50% area there, wave 3 will have a minimum expected target at about 400. Wave 5 at 516.5. If we do it from the 30 to 38.2 area there, wave 3 around 431, wave 5 around 558. Based on the height of this pullback overall here, you can see that we have our target up here at around 596. Again, you've got ABC down, you've got ABC up, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. Expanded flat correction here. This thing has been in progress since March 18th of 2024. So when we get this breakout, it should be strong and good, which makes sense if it aligns with wave 3. So 1, 2, and then 3. So it makes a lot of sense, right? With that 3 up there, wherever I said that was going to be. Try it again here, see where we're looking. Yeah, at the lowest, you know, if we're only getting to the, if we're pulling all the way back to the 50% there. Yeah, right up there, 398 or so. And this is without a blow off top for wave 5 or anything like that on that. But minimally, we should be looking up there. So, you know, again, even if you were to get in right now, say you were to DCA in or something, right? Do you have that? I mean, you'd be up 350%. Oh, I'm sorry, 222% from here. Yeah, DCA in here, you know, if it comes down 38.2, add some more. Comes down 50, add some more. Effectively lower move down there. You'd be closer to, you know, 280% on that price rally off that. But if you lose the things, if you use the things that I teach at TWC, that I go over pretty much every week in our trainings and everything, the goal would be when it gets to your target area to zoom into that smaller time frame, look for the cues that you need to look for to say that maybe there's a reversal going on, and then get on that. Because then all of a sudden, you're getting these huge risk rewards because you're getting in on like a 1 hour time frame or something. You get like 100% on there. You're making $100 for every dollar you spend, or, you know, it gets down a little bit lower there or a little bit higher there, wherever it's at. That's a lot of stuff that we talk about in our live trainings every week as well. I try to put it in there. I try to give them, say, listen, if you think this is the trade, this is how you go about it here. If you're using proper risk management, it doesn't work out, that's fine. But in this particular area, because we're here, if it doesn't and it gets to that other area, then you've got an even better entry, make almost twice as much. You only have to subtract out the 1 hour that you lost, and you're still, again, up almost twice as much. So, yeah. The XRP chart. The XRP chart. Oh, let me see here. Let me just make a copy here. And by the way, if you do join TWC, don't hide the woodwork. Jump onto one of the chat channels and tag me if you have to, or anybody else you want. Just say hi. Absolutely would love to say hi to you and to make sure that you're all taken care of and you know what's up and what's up. Because we had a lot of content, guys. Most people don't believe it until they get in there and they're like, holy crap, where do I start? And we do have a little bit of an onboarding video. I think I'm going to update that this weekend. But you also have a checklist when you first join that says do these few things here. So make sure you're doing those. Those help get you into the process of what to go and where to go. But we have a ton of content, guys. It's just absolutely insane sometimes when I think about it, how much we have. Oh, what's the best one? Charles, what's up? He says, sometimes I think Chris is just bashing his old self when he spends 50% of every video talking about these people, etc. If you mean about the things that we do wrong, a lot of it, yeah. A lot of it is learned, from the things that I did wrong. And the things that, again, guys, the way I approach TWC and to another extent what I do here is I look back and I go, okay, when I first started, what would I have liked to have known? And then I go a little bit further and I say, okay, well, what didn't I know that I needed to have known at that time? And that's usually where I come from. And that's why a lot of times it'll rub somebody wrong because, they don't want to hear all that bad stuff, especially if it's things they're doing. They don't want to hear it. Because remember, like I tell you guys, as human beings, we tend to really blow up. Well, we think greatly of the good things or the luck that we have. And we tend to downplay the bad decisions we make. And that's a very dangerous habit, excuse me, to get into. Because, excuse me. Because in trading, almost more than anywhere else, you absolutely have to be honest with yourself because trading is all about refining your approach, and you will continue. I refine my approach today. 30 years I've been doing this. I'm still refining my approach. Anybody that's listening to me knows that I work on my risk management like constantly. Every little partial penny that I can, make my risk management better is exponentially more returns. Excuse me, geez, oh whiz, that I'm going to have. Try again. So yeah, these things I talk about, very rarely is there anything I talk about that I myself have not done in the past and probably done more than once. I say it a lot of times. I've probably lost more money than most of y'all will ever lose. Especially back in the beginning. So I have a point of reference when I speak about these things. It's never, to make anybody feel bad. But if you do feel bad, understand that's something that you've done. That's on you, not on me. I don't even worry about it. If you feel bad after something I say, I don't even worry about it because I don't control how you feel. And that's the last point I want to make here before we get into this XRP here is in life, it seems like society has gotten to this point and family has gotten to this point where they want to put these things that you can't control onto you. People will tell you, look at how you made me feel. Or I feel this way because you said that or because you did that. Listen, folks, you cannot take responsibility for the way other people feel. That is wholly, 100% completely on them. You have no responsibility in that. Now, it doesn't mean go out there and act like a jerk. I mean, you can, and, realistically, it is what it is. But I'm saying don't do that. Be a better person than that. But if somebody's coming at you and saying, oh, you hurt my feelings or you made me feel this way, I mean, you have to take an honest look and go, well, if you didn't really mean to do that, there's really nothing to apologize for. If you meant to hurt somebody's feelings, okay, you can apologize for that. If you were just being blunt and honest and they didn't take it well, I mean, that's completely on them. And until we start taking responsibility for our actions and our reactions and the things that we do, we'll never be able to get to where we want to get in life with anything. Okay? So yeah, I've got a lot of pain from screw-ups that I've made as a trader, especially back in the day. And I share those with you guys constantly when I talk about these things. What it looks like here real quick on the weekly, it looks like ABC and then ABC. So it looks like a WHY, a double zigzag correction there. My gosh, this is killing me. I do not know what I'm doing here. The coughing. We've just about got a 38.2 pullback. If I was to look here and throw a real quick count on here, I'd say probably 1, 2. Let's take this a little bit smaller here. And then maybe with a flat here, 2, 3. Probably a triangle here. And gets us a 5 up there. And then, like I said, a WXY here, ABC. Then ABC here. So really what you're looking at in this big picture here is you're looking for a breakout above wave X up here to confirm that wave 4 is likely complete at $2.99, 999 there. Locally here, the question is this 5 complete here? And that'll depend on what this wave 3 height is. I don't think so. So this might be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5, and then an A, a B, and a C is a flat coming in there. But yeah, we're looking for a breakout above that, and based on the height of the pullback here, that would give us a wave 5 target, pattern target at $5.34. Yeah, this daily stochastic RSI is almost oversold. I could see this pulling back potentially a little bit lower here, maybe around this $2.06 area, $2 area maybe. To continue pulling back here. Locally here, I think if you're breaking out above this swing high right here, I think you're probably good to go. $2 and basically 48 cents. Yeah, this might be just about done here on this pullback. This may even be, let me see here. Yeah, this could be 1 A, B, C here. I think we're gonna have a good move up after this thing reverses. But right now, $2.48 or so would be that first area. You go, okay, up above there, we're probably done. But definitely breaking out above basically $2 and, well, $3 here. I'll have you going again. Pattern target based on how the pullback there gets you around $5.34. So yeah. You're going what? You're going blind from the white background? Oh, I feel bad for you. You might need to go see the eye doctor about that, man. Optometrist. Go check it out. Probably help you out. Let me see here. I got one more time to do this last one here. Algo USDC. Is that Bernie? Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see here. DC, yeah. Yeah, they're that too. Andrew says that, but even though he's one of our head traders now, he did it quickly. Andrew's one of those guys that came in and took it all in and just started doing amazing before his first year was done. And man, he's just been so dang good. So that's why I went ahead and brought him in as a head trader there, along with Vince. Vince is another person, came in less than a year, had it all down, and just, it doesn't mean that they know it all. I still don't know it all. I'll tell you that every day. But man, oh man, talk about consistency. And so, it's just proof that if you go in there and you do the things you have to do, and you actually put forth, you don't expect it to happen to you. You go out there and you make it happen, right? You take the responsibility to do what you have to do. DC, can't get that. I always keep it the other way. As long as you do that, I mean, we've got so many stories of people that are doing absolutely fantastic because they did. Alvin's another one. Alvin's in Australia. And he shared something with us the other day. He blanked out kind of the account numbers and all, but he showed us one of his retirement accounts that he's manually building, and just how crazy that thing has grown over the last year as well. And so, and he told us, what did he tell us the other day? I think he was in the live trading guys, and he said what? He said he got in, and he said it was a lot of money for him at the time, especially because at the time the USD Aussie dollar conversion rate was so bad for him. But he went ahead and jumped in anyway. And I hadn't heard this before. And he's like, yeah, but I made it back in 3 weeks, his annual. And we were charging a lot more for the annual at that time. So I was just like, oh man, I love to hear stuff like that. I love to hear when people actually get in there and they put in the effort and they put in the work, and, they see it pays off for them. Oh, what do we got here? Let me see. It's kind of ugly, right? The one thing I do like immediately is I like that. All right. I like we had this resistance here, which then came back as support, and we've bounced off that. Let me zoom out to the monthly here real quick. And by the way, guys, this is the way I usually learn, or I usually look at charts, is I'll start on the weekly and or the monthly. I don't care if I'm looking for a 15-minute trades, 15-minute time frame. I'll start out on the very large time frame, so I get an overall understanding of what's going on structurally before I get in there. Doesn't mean I'm always right, but I'll tell you what, it's a hell of a lot better than the alternative. Algo, looks like we've got a large range forming here. And so this would give us a spring down here, and then a last point of support. And I'd love to see it. It's on much lesser volume than what we had over here for the spring, right? What else do I like? See this decline here? You see there's a lot of small candles. You see how a lot of overlapping, as well as you're coming down here. For the first part of it, volume expands a little bit here, but then when it comes down, when the market actually has the opportunity to do some damage, right? This isn't damage, okay? All you're doing is retracing in his previous run. It's nothing. When the market has the opportunity to do damage here, and instead of the volume going up at this point, it's going down, be looking for a reversal on that. And that's exactly what we got there. Because what you want to see, if price is going to break down through that range support, almost exclusively, you're going to see that volume continue to ride into that low. More and more people are going to jump into the trade, right? As it gets down there. The confidence to short that is going to grow. If the market really wants to break it down, you're going to see that volume is going to continue to expand into the low. But be suspect if you see that volume stops expanding or doesn't expand at all. Sometimes the whole way back, it's just volume drops the entire way. Be wary of that when you get to the bottom of that range, because it's showing that the market has the opportunity to get involved. It has the opportunity to jump in and really thrust it out, because, blue sky territory, dark water territory, right? You can't even see below you here. It's so dark. It goes so deep, right? There's no support or resistance down here, just like there's no support or resistance up here. So you get the same concept. If you're going to break down through here with intent, it's going to keep going. You're not getting that here. So you get the move up. You got a 3-wave pullback here. Looks like you might have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up and then an ABC on the back here. So, I mean, from a more of a macro standpoint, you're going to want to break out. I didn't get that magnet on there. You don't want to see a breakout above 49.5 cents, basically, to kind of indicate, you know, that you're heading up here to probably break a new all-time high. This pullback looks like a pretty decent pullback there. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit here and see this. Almost 78.6 on the pullback. So that's good. So this right here is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pulling back here. I mean, you'd at least look for a pattern target of $1.44. And where does that get us? Right at that resistance. Keep pulling by, right where the candle split on the monthly there. Support right here, and then the big candle through it, right? It's a significant area. So that's where it's going to get you. Right there. So I like that. So the idea is this could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC. And so maybe we're looking at a leading diagonal here. And so on this move up here, you get a slight throw over. If this is up into the end of the year, up into Q4, you get a thrower of that. Then you get the bigger move back. So that's what I'm thinking we're seeing here. Zoom in a little bit lower. If we're looking at the daily. Yeah, this looks like a diagonal here too. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just have to make sure that wave 3 is not the shortest. Let me get this off here. Let me see a little bit better here. So right here and then a flat maybe. So here's wave 3. So we break out above it there. That's not good. Okay, so that can't be. That can't be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So could be 1, 2, and then 1, 2. Well, actually, ABC, ABC, ABC. There we go. Okay. And then we have a down here, boom, and then 3. So it looks like an ABC, come up and an ABC here. So locally, you're going to want to see a breakout above this place right here, 24.8 cents. To signal that that you're likely to hit it up higher there. Coming right to this previous support area. Let's see how far that pullback is real quick. It's right around 50%. Keeps going lower here. We can look at 18.2. 0.182 for the 61.8, and maybe even 0.173 for the 70.5. But if we were to rally from here and head up, you know what? Actually, let me do this. Let's say we hit the 70.5 down here. And that'll give us the shortest wave 3 target, which is 43.5 cents, wave 5 at 50, basically 54 cents here, which would give us 5 waves up right around the swing high, which is what we generally expect to get. So definitely not, hey, I'd be looking for a reversal in this area here. Breakout above 0.248, you should be good to go. At least up here around 54 cents on that. So I would definitely look for that as well. Anyway, yeah, so there you go, guys. Let's take a look at Bitcoin here again before we go. How's that 4 hour looking? Stochastic RSI almost resetting, hitting that R1 or that S1 pivot almost here. Let me pull this up. Let me check this out again real quick. Yeah, this could potentially still be a throw under here, but we're going to need to see a nice rapid move back up from this. It's possible this is maybe an ABC 1, 2, ABC 3, 4, ABC 5, ending diagonal here maybe, because we got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. I would be looking for that potential reversal. 1 hour. Oh, 1 hour. Bullish divergence, guys. Right here. Nice volume on that last drop there. Compared to this whole drop down, that is definitely the biggest volume. So capitulative volume right there on that last move. It's right into the low volume or right into the high volume node here. Watch that thing rally potentially. Here's the 15-minute. We got a couple of fair value gaps here to get above on the 15-minute, but yeah, if we're making it back up here around, well, hell, if we're making it up here above 106.5, I think that's going to signal the low is most likely in. We head up there. If you were more risk tolerant, this would be the trade to take right here. And again, we'd be looking at that for. See, I'll figure this target area real quick on that. Just based on the height of this pullback, you could potentially a little bit up just before it there. That's about a 23-hour trade. That's insane to get up there on that. Bernie, appreciate you showing up. Jojo, always good to see you, buddy. Sats, Andrew, everybody else. Man, oh man. Hopefully you picked up some of what I was laying down at the beginning here, guys. Again, I'm going to tell you what right now. Learning how to trade these different styles and whatever and techniques, that's one thing. But until you really get the emotional and psychological stuff I talk about, until you really start working on that, doesn't matter how good you are with what you need to do with the techniques and trading and the styles and whatever, you are going to make yourself lose money. And I don't know how else to say that. That's the long and short of it. So the best thing you do for yourself is figuring out that stuff. Okay. Yes, please hit the likes, hit the thumbs up, share it. If you want to join us, like I said, go over to TexasWestCapital.com, go to the group coaching, go on the annual. Up on the corner on this side over here, be a little line that says, do you have a promo code or something? Use this promo code SUMMER 2025, all one word, and you're going to get a huge, huge, huge discount off the yearly. Our prices are about to go up. So, I mean, that's even, I guess if I think about it, it's even more significant. Right now, we charge $97 a month. We are about to raise that to $179 a month, and that'll still put us at the low end of our competitors, even though what we do is a lot more significant and a lot better. But still trying to keep it affordable. But if you've been on the sidelines and you've been kind of beating around the bush thinking, shouldn't I? Man, oh man, now is that time to do it. And of course, like I said, you get access to Fibbo and learn how to do his threshold theory and get his trades as well as Andrew and Vince's trades. I go through at least 15 to 20 charts every night, Monday through Friday on the market market wrap. Bitcoin's updated 3 times a week. I think I update like 15 or 20 charts daily, futures and crypto charts. Man, live trading 3 times a week. You can join our live trading room 3 times a week. I'm trying to get that up to 5 times a week. I just got to make it fit in my schedule somehow. We're actually doing pretty fantastic on that. And then, of course, 3 times a week, you get group coaching. And if you can't make it live, that's okay. We've got the recordings. You can ask questions at any time. That's what it's there for. And I'm all about you coming in and asking questions. Don't come in and think, oh, my God, if I ask this question, he's going to think I'm stupid, or somebody else there is going to think I'm stupid. Nobody does. We're all about everybody coming in and learning as much as they can, because the way we view it is that community of traders there, they're always talking about trades. And the more people that are coming in and learning how to trade properly is the more eyes that are out there to find potential trades. Because at the end of the day, guys, not me, not you, nobody. We can't see anywhere near the plethora of great trades that are available every day. So the more people you have that know how to do it and are talking amongst each other, the more eyes you're going to have finding those trades. And it's a win for everybody. So something like, right? Roy, what's up? If you're in monthly after it changes, is it too late for the cheap yearly? If you're in monthly after it changes. Yeah, this yearly thing that I'm talking about right now, I've only got 20 of those. So, it's once 20 people have taken us up on that, then it won't be available anymore. So yeah. That won't be available anymore. If you're currently a student with us, you're like on the monthly or whatever, and you want to take advantage of that, DM me. Send me a DM on Mighty Networks there on our platform. And I'll have to, we've stumbled over this with a few people over the last day since I did this last night, right? I have to actually cancel your account, and then I'll prorate you what's left in that month as a refund. And then you can then be able to, rejoin again on the annual with that discount. I thought they'd be able to, you'd just be able to upgrade yourself inside the system itself, but Mighty Networks has not gotten that far yet. They're working on their pay stuff. It's been the one thing that's really frustrated me, but they're working on it, getting stuff done. And soon you'll be able to use promo codes to upgrade your account and do other things in your account that you want. But right now, I'm going to have to do that, because if you cancel your account, it's not going to actually, get rid of you until the end of your month. But yeah, so just send me a DM and I can just do it myself. And then you'll get that prorated refund for the rest of your month. And then you can sign up for the yearly as well. Okay. All right, guys, listen, there we go. That's it. As always, remember, the only thing you control is how much you lose. Please keep working on that risk management. Go buy my book. It's Forked Nations, Forked, Forked. You fork a crypto, right? And it's really great stuff. I think it's just a really great take on what's going on. It's Bitcoin fiction, geopolitical stuff, but it's really good. It's a lot of fun. And you can do that. Amazon.com/author/my name in lower caps, Christopher Inks, one line. Or you just look up Fork Nations and pull it up there. How did you even have the time to write a book, Michael asked? That's all I do. I literally, do you guys ever see me showing you pictures anywhere of me going and doing anything? I work at TWC and I trade and I write. And that's all I do, really. I don't take vacations. I probably should for my health, but I don't. But yeah. But that is what I do. So it's funny how it works. I've actually got a few different things that I've been writing over the last few years. Some of them are complete. Some of them are almost complete. Some of them are outlined. And so you'll see them coming up here. I do have another book that's coming out. Fork Nations took too long. I had all the issues with the independent publisher thing. So I decided to hold off an extra week on launching. That was supposed to launch this week. But it's Cold Wallet Protocol. It's a techno thriller. So a lot of action, espionage, spies. But the cool thing about, before I go here, guys, the cool thing about the protocol universe, which is where these books are written in, is that Bitcoin does not do anything that it cannot really do in the white paper. You're not going to see Bitcoin doing some magical thing, which I think is really great. Because most Bitcoin fiction, the people don't even understand the white papers and the limitations and the things like that. But it doesn't do that. But it's still great stuff, as part. And the whole idea of what I'm doing with this whole universe, this protocol universe, is, really comes from reading Software from Jason Lowery, Major Lowery's book. If you haven't read that, guys, I'm telling you, you need to read it. It gets you out of Bitcoin's. Most people are in Bitcoin just price, right? Oh, I shouldn't buy Bitcoin because I can't be a millionaire with it. Well, you're missing the whole point of Bitcoin beyond get rich quick, right? But once you read Software, you start seeing a whole different light to Bitcoin and what it means to mine Bitcoin and how nation states can use that as warfare, more or less, and hopefully use it to limit the amount of kinetic warfare that we have, loss of lives, stuff like that. So, but anyway, check it out. Would love for you to have. Would love to hear what you guys think about it if you do read it. Both of the books, we got great stuff. Got great stuff lined up coming in the future as well. That is going to be taking into characters and situations are created from things that are going on today in Bitcoin. So it's a lot of really fun stuff. But anyway, that'll be it. I'm out of here. Don't forget Wednesday, Beards and Bitcoin. I haven't scolded Tillman yet for not showing up last Wednesday and leaving me with Andrew there from Arch Public. But I think all three of us will be there this coming Wednesday. So be sure to join in. All right. Thank you so much for joining in. As always, I hope you all have an amazing weekend. Seriously, trade safe out there. Proper risk management. Most important thing you're going to do day in and day out as a trader. All right. Take care.